Years, vocational education in County Donegal is currently benefiting considerably from Department of Education funding. The latest centre to get new facilities is Bun Crana, where phase 3 of an extremely impressive school is now complete. Remember, a new vocational school in Letterkenny, 27 miles away, was officially opened just a month ago. The Minister for Education, Mary O'Rourke, came to Buncrana for the ceremonies, sharing a platform with Neil Blaney and other politicians from the region.
I now ask the Minister to use the scissors she's got, which I hope are working and sharp, to cut the tape and turn the key to formally declare open our new addition to this very fine educational institution here in Buncrana. Minister, will you please perform the opening ceremony? That's it. There we are. Very good.
Inside, the attendance at an ecumenical service included local bishops, Dr. James Mehaffey and Dr. Edward Daly. The cost of constructing the spacious gymnasium was just one of the areas assisted by local fundraising activities. At a time when numbers in many schools are falling, the opposite is happening in Buncrana. 10 years ago, 180 pupils were on the vocational school rolls. Today, the number is over 400. 25% of students who sit the Leaving Cert go on to third-level education. But the curriculum here also includes what's known as a vocational preparation and training programme in subjects like construction studies, secretarial and hotel catering and tourism skills. As well as officially opening this £600,000 development at Buncrana, Mary O'Rourke has also sanctioned a new vocational school for Carrigart in County Donegal, a problem area already highlighted on News Time.
Buncrana today is phase 3 of what has been an ongoing process of improvements of services for vocational education. It's a beautiful building, as I'm sure your film will have shown earlier, and the teachers and pupils in the Vocational Education Committee, particularly Donegal, have been most assiduous in pushing the cause of vocational education. Carrick, I've been pleased to and able to give sanction to proceed to phase 2. I know it has given a fine service. The people in the community have been particularly agitating and particularly vociferous and forceful about their need. And when we examined the case and when we looked at where they were living and what they were doing, we saw there was a great need for Carrick Vocational School. So yes, I had hoped that I could come today and just say out, I have great news, because ministers are expected to come with their pockets full of goodies. Times are hard, but the Vocational Education Committee and the representatives prevailed on me to give the news some weeks ago, and I was glad to do so.
How are you finding your position as Minister for Education? You're in a hot seat at the moment.
Of course I am, and it is, you could call it difficult on one hand, and then you could call it challenging. I feel that there's a great recognition now by everybody, parents and teachers and everybody concerned, that we are living in transitory, economically difficult times. It's up to us to make the most of the 1,200 million, a fair sizable amount of money, which I'm provided with for this year to give to education, and I am going to see that we get value for money.
One place where a tiny portion of that £1,200 million mentioned by the Minister would be appreciated is at Carndonagh, 17 miles north of Buncrana. The problem of Prefab Dona National School is an example of the other side of the education story in County Donegal. Here, the Church of Ireland community is looking for just £80,000. 3 buildings in outlying areas were closed down and 68 pupils brought to the one centre. Parents have been diplomatic rather than vociferous about the resultant facilities problems. But now they wonder whether they made a mistake in their strategy.
We have 2 chalets here. The one especially is here for 25 years. We have never had a brick building in Carndonagh. The second one's only up 12 years. The first one was flattened in February 1984 with a gale. The gales around here, we're close to Malin Head and we're always getting gales, which was terrifying at the time. But thank goodness the children weren't in the school. We had everybody and anybody coming at that time, TDs and public works men and department men, and everybody said that we were entitled to a brick building in Carndonagh. In April '84, we got a letter of assurance from the department that this would be the case. And of course, we went mad then. We started the fundraising. We had dances and we had draws. We had sponsored walks, you name it, we had it. And we have raised, within those first 18 months, £20,000. We have also our own site now, which was practically given to us. We had very little to pay for that. A lovely gift. We've had the greatest support from the whole community. People are coming up to us in the streets and giving us £5 and £10 for the new school.
Well, what's your situation now then, and how do you feel about the way you're being treated?
4 years later, we have nothing. We have letters, we have promises, we have telephone calls. The children are still in the same school, the same chalets.
2 months ago, Donegal National School got sanction from the Department of Education for a third teacher, Judy Colhoun. But there was no place to put her in the prefabs, so an alternative site was suggested. It's an old girls' school a mile away, and according to the parents, a case of going from bad to worse.
The school is rat infested. My second week here, I met him myself. In fact, he scraped some dirt down onto my daughter's desk, and I discovered him that evening. So the Board of Management, at great expense, installed a rat repellent electrical device and assured me that there would be no more rats. But my cleaner informed me last week that she found them in the classroom, actually in the children's classroom. That's one hazard. The fact that I'm alone here with 24 children and no telephone. I know there are one-teacher schools, of course there are, but the fact is that these children, the eldest of them, are 7, and if there's an accident, I would have to leave them unattended to get help. To me, that's not acceptable either.
Now, another thing that annoys me here is the toilet and washing facilities that we have. Bear in mind now that this is the toilet and washing facilities for 24 children, boys and girls, and myself. The fact is that this is the only water we have, the only water supply we have, both for drinking, washing up art and crafts things, whatever.
The parents say the department now wants to move all of the pupils from the chalets to this old building, and that it will provide funds for renovations. But the suggestion is rejected locally.
I feel that to put this school right, to make this school, bring it up to the standard, today's standard for acceptable school dwellings, it would cost as much money as it would for us to put up our own 3-classroom school from scratch. This is an old building. It was once condemned. It will always be an old building, no matter what they do with it. And we want a school for our grandchildren as well as our children. We don't want to have to start all over again in 10 years' time. We don't want someone else's cast off.
Do you have any sympathy for the department and for the minister trying to make ends meet in tough times?
Very little. We're not asking for an enormous amount of money. We hear figures of 200,000 bandied about. We are willing to accept a grant of about £80,000, along with the money which we have raised ourselves, and build our own school, if she would let us do that.